You seem to have weathered that trek well enough. Were you able to find anything at the facility? It certainly is. Monica, anything you can do with this?
I can take a look. Oh, it's encoded. Made to look scrambled. And done badly. Looks like... there. Seems there were 2 of them. Oh my god. It's all here. The accidents, the kidnapping, Greg's attack. These 2, they did it all.
Any mention of who they are? They're not with the construction crew, are they?
No names. But there are a pair of ID numbers. They're with the Trackers Alliance.
The Alliance sent 2 bounty hunters? Here? But our bounties are all paid.
I'm not seeing an Alliance contract or documentation. I think this is off the books.
So, a couple of trackers have decided to haunt us on their own free time. Why?
Doesn't say. It's really not that impressive. Used to sell these on the semi-regular in my old life. A cheating spouse wants to document all their flings without fear of their partner finding out? Just use one of these bad boys. It's computer hacker 101 stuff. And it sure doesn't explain why they've decided to harass us.
That certainly seems in the realm of possibility.
So then this is an easy fix. They're bounty hunters. We pay them to leave us alone.
And make ourselves a target for every other hunter in the universe. We need to take a stand.
Says the one guy physically incapable of taking one.
We're not doing anything until we actually find them. Any mention in there of where our trackers might be now?
Sounds like they're on a supply run, outside the system.
Then we got a little time. Given their background, and ours, I expect you're the only person here they might actually listen to. Would you be willing to act as an emissary on our behalf?
Slate's not big on details. There's 2 of them, they're clearly armed, but that's about all we've got to go on.
But trackers aren't usually the type to take prisoners when it's not required. So the fact that they've thus far remained largely non-violent, well, it means they might be willing to negotiate. With the right person, of course, which I think in this case is you. I'm sure we can find a way to solve this issue, which won't require bloodshed.
Let's just pay them and be done with it. I mean, we clearly need more manpower anyway. I'll hire them on as contractors.
To hell with that. We know where they live. Let's have our friend here get the drop on them and send them to the great beyond.
The last thing we need is the galaxy thinking that's how we solve our problems around here, Mr. D'Angelo. I would request you try to avoid any violence. But if you're looking for suggestions on how to proceed, well, it seems we've got opinions to spare.
I think there's a clear way to solve this problem. I'm the facility's chief administrator, co-head of the whole retreat with Sloan. She handles most of the resident side of things. Making sure we've got the right people for the program and those people have the right tools to succeed in their own development. I keep the lights on and make sure things hum along smoothly. Currently, very little. But once we're open, should that day ever come, We hope to have all manner of training and personal development courses available for our residents. Most of our staff are formerly incarcerated themselves, so we hope to be able to provide a level of service unlike any other in the galaxy. I am the sole exception. I was a neighborhood administrator for years in New Atlantis, was tasked with maintaining the Wells section of the city, home to many of the UC's most underprivileged citizens. I saw firsthand what havoc the bounty system could cause in a neighborhood. Parents in prison, money funneled away from basic needs. It can become a cycle. Here, we hope to give people the tools to escape it. Currently, very little. But once we're open, should that day, we hope to have most of our staff. I think you should offer them money, and I'm willing to help. Here, all I have liquid at the moment. Hopefully it'll be enough. Take care, please.
What's up? You want to talk negotiation strategies? Most of the staff here are. Got me for digital intrusion and grand larceny. Was in a bad place. Needed a lot of funds. Fast. So I hacked a couple Galbank servers. Had maybe 6 years left on my sentence in Aquila when Sloan and Nevin swooped in. They said they'd pay off my whole bounty if I ran through their pilot program. I didn't have much else going on, so I said sure. It was hard work, but Sloan, the woman is compassion in human form. She stuck with me. And now I'm here, running the retreat shop and maybe someday one of my own. Sure did. Anyone who commits to joining the program gets their bounty paid off by the retreat. Not sure who's footing the bill, though. I presume it's coming from outside donations because Sloan and Nevin aren't exactly rolling in cred sticks. Had to deal with my fair share of their kind over the years. You don't get into that job to make it rich. You get into it to be your own boss and prove how tough you are. So, my advice? Let them know that pushing around a bunch of counselors just makes them look like bullies, not tough. They've got all the necessities. Be careful with those goons.
Be careful with these trackers. You don't get into their line of business without a If you can believe it, I was Crimson Fleet. Scouring the skies for loot and glory. Ended up finding a hefty prison sentence instead, which, honestly, was probably the best for me and the galaxy at large. You'd expect right, even at the best of times. But I'm sure you didn't come here for an ancient history lesson. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Well, the retreats are, once we're open, we'll get them jobbed. We're trying to do... Love, I can only guess at what these two might be after. But it's clear they perceive something about us as a threat. They're afraid. And all you can do with fear is try and understand it. So, just listen to them, okay? Hear what they have to say. And see if you can make whatever it is they're worried about a little less scary. Good luck out there.
You looking for my suggestion? I don't think they're gonna respect anything other than force. But I think Sloane's not gonna be happy if you handle it that way.
Let's see what's out there.
What the? Who's that?
You. Who are you and what the hell are you doing here? And just who the holy hell are you?
See? I told you Kilman was gonna lead them to us. Should have slit his throat when we had the chance.
Quiet. Listen, unless you're here to tell us those convicts have decided to close up shop, then we've got nothing to discuss. I couldn't care less about the cons. They can huff fish innards until they rot for all we care. But this retreat, if they actually succeed, keep criminals out of the bounty system, well, the galaxy probably doesn't need so many trackers at that point, does it? And then maybe the big boys like the UC and the Collective set up programs of their own, just like Helios. Put us all out of a job. Now, better to nip it in the bud now before it becomes a threat. Which is why I'm not interested in discussing anything except the date and time they're shutting their doors.
There's no need for unnecessary bloodshed.
That's so. I guess that's a good point. What? That's not what this is. We're tough. Fine. We'll leave the retreat alone. Can't make any promises about us being the last, though. Just get out, all right?
This looks cozy. I don't think we're going to find much excitement around here.
There you are. You were gone for quite a while, love. Are you all right? Were you able to find our trackers? That's the best news I've had in quite a while. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, love. This place, all of us, we are in your debt. There is just one last piece of business, though. Nevin asked to speak to you, in private. He's waiting for you up in the office. hard to believe it's all over.
Ah, there you are. So, first things first, I need to say, well, thank you. And we are exceedingly grateful for it. It's just, the situation you set right, with the trackers, it's one we don't want to find ourselves in again. Luckily, we have someone, our founding donor in fact, who has offered to reach out to the Alliance, ensure their good behavior going forward. Before she does, however, she's asked for the details of what exactly occurred. I've already shared my own insights, but, well, she wants to talk to you, too. Is that something you might be amenable to? Our benefactor has said she'd prefer to do the introductions herself. But you can rest assured she wants only to thank you in person, hear your side of the story. Nothing more sinister than that. Ah, she'll be pleased to hear it. Head to Aquila City in the Cheyenne system. Check in with Justin Sneed, her security chief. And I would ask you to try and be polite. She's the only reason we're here.
Not exactly New Atlantis, eh?
Got anything you need to offload? Trade Authority is always buying. Kiosk right here for you. Anything I can help you with?
One quiet day.
Sam has told me so many stories about Aquila.
All
City.
kind. Here.
I feel as though I've lived here all my life.
Sure. I don't do payment plans or Don't make me regret.
Tower's closed. Come back some other time. You're them, huh? I've got 2 rules for this little meeting. Rule number 1, you're not to share anything you discuss up there. This is a private matter, and we're going to keep it that way. Rule 2, you decide to get playful with that weapon, we're going to have serious problems. Think you can abide by those? Good. Miss Lance is waiting upstairs. You can go on up.
And that must make you arrogant. You don't have anything to fear from me. Now, you may already know who I am. Raisha Lance, CEO, Laredo Firearms. And you, I know all about. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for the retreat. Truly, it's a project that's near and dear to my heart. I'm not the sole donor, but yes, the retreat is a project I've been trying to foster for some time now. My attempt to improve the plight of humanity, even if just in a minor way. Which is why I'm so thankful for your intervention on its behalf. Now, I presume Nevin already got you up to speed. I need details before I talk to the heads of the Trackers Alliance. Make sure their members understand the retreat's off limits. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just jump right into it. Lily here will be taking notes as we go. Now, Nevin said all the various incidents afflicting the retreat, they all stemmed from this pair of rogue bounty hunters. Do I have that right? Good. Lily, make sure we get a copy of all that, will you?
Yes, Ms. Lance.
But Nevin did say you managed to get those 2 to leave the retreat alone. You mind my asking how you accomplished that? Two trackers and you just talked them down? That's quite the feat. I'm interested in the details, though. How exactly did it all play out? I bet they are. So, only other thing I wanted to ask, and I'm just looking for an opinion here, is there anything in your eyes that could have been done to prevent this happening? That's good to hear. But that should give me enough to present to the Alliance. Thank you for making the time. Now, what you did, well, it deserves something more than just a couple of firm thank yous. Here, I want you to have these. They're a rare make, but I think you've earned it. Now, was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we went our separate ways? You make lots of friends in my position. Friends in the Freestar Collective, friends in the UC. The sort of people with influence over things. Like, say, how much a locality is allowed to spend on Alliance contracts each quarter. When the Alliance heads grasp that it's better for us all to be friends, I expect they'll leave the retreat well enough alone. It's something that's been on my mind for a while now. How best to help the galaxy's incarcerated population? Humanity's tried plenty of bad ideas. Throwing them in jail and forgetting about them. The UC gave that a go way back when. Took all their criminals to a penal colony on Suvorov and left them to their own devices. Well, those folks didn't appreciate that sort of treatment, took over the colony, and now we call them the Crimson Fleet. Next, we tried making them pay fines instead of going to jail. Except if you don't have the money, that's no sort of improvement at all, is it? Bad idea after bad idea. I thought it was time we tried something new. That's where the plans for the retreat came from. Our attempt at doing things different. That's kind of you, but without your help, it might have stayed just a goal. You have my sincere thanks. Now, if you'll excuse me, as you've seen, there's plenty to be done.
Remember, what you and Miss Lance discussed stays between you two. Got it?
Sorry, spaceport's always a zoo.
What's happening, darling? Bring me anything useful? Stay safe, darling. Might not be Jemison, but this ship is starting to feel like home. Well, well. Let's see what you've got. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll talk again later. I have something for you when you have a moment. Things for you.
Something on your mind? And is it hero work?
I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time, let's try it without the jetpacks, hmm?